had to live significant amount of my life to even ask these 11 burning questions. Who am I? Why was I born? What is my purpose? Why do I think the way I do? Why do I have particular likes and dislikes? Why do I meet certain people? Why is life sometimes happy and sometimes sad? Why do I undergo pain and struggle in life? What is the true meaning of happiness? Why do I get dreams that feel so real when clearly I'm in deep sleep? And finally, why Dogportant? I had to learn only in my 40s that I'm a soul just like you, who is so much more than this body I'm wearing to enjoy a human life on earth. I'm here to share everything I know with you before I take my last breath as a human. I know I'm eternal, and the role of a human that I'm playing is only temporary to learn and grow. I'm a daughter, a dog mom, a wife, and a spiritual student for life. I stay anonymous because I am an introvert, but also being anonymous will make you concentrate on the content rather than the creator. I want to be a content creator who is silent in the background, empowering you with the knowledge and tools quietly. I'm here to give, not to take anything from you. Why was I born? I believe I'm born in this lifetime to learn through living a human life, making mistakes, learning from them, and not repeating them. And according to my astrology and stars, I'm born to heal others. Teaching healing is not an easy job. So I'm born to study hard, research deeply, gather limitless knowledge, and then explain it in a way that you can quickly absorb and make real changes in your life. That is my unconditional gift to you. What is my purpose? My purpose in this lifetime is to love and heal myself first and then heal others. I have done the first part, and certainly it is ongoing forever, but I am now working on the second part, that's healing you. Healing you is my greatest opportunity and my pleasure in this lifetime because it is coming from a place of pure giving. And anything that comes from giving, that is where my true happiness is. Why do I think the way I do? You see, until my 40s, my life was the same old routine. Watching the media and the news and the negative buzz to catch up for nothing. Engaging in discussions about topics that brought no peace and only added more stress that did no good in my life. My dogs were my world, and when they became seniors and started falling sick, combined with my family going through a really rough patch, it became a perfect storm. That was my darkest hour. And as they say, the darkest hour comes before the dawn. In that moment, everything changed. My old way of thinking started shedding as soon as I got into spirituality. Learning all the difficult concepts, making sense of them, and slowly implementing them in my life. And the changes that followed took me completely by surprise. Not just in me, but in my dogs, and to my amazement, in my other family members too. That is when I became absolutely certain I'm creating my reality with my mindset and my own thoughts. No one has control of my life but me myself. Why do I have particular likes and dislikes? This was one of the most eye-opening lessons I have learned from valued teachers on YouTube and the books that I read non-stop, that my likes and dislikes are not really me. They are my subconscious programming, and I didn't even know about this. From childhood, we all have role models, isn't it? Starting with our parents, then come siblings, relatives, friends, and then neighbors. As a child, I absorbed everything from my surroundings, from everyone like a sponge. And that stayed with me for decades. For example, as a child, I had seen men not being kind to women, and I always thought my father was the kindest man on earth, and there was nobody like him. So until I met Vincent, my husband, I was under the impression that all men except my dad were unkind and I must be careful. That was not the truth. That was the programming. Another example. As a teenager, I wasn't the center of anything but studies. I was a studious, nerdy girl. I wanted to be seen. I needed approval. I needed attention, you know, not just the studies. But others around me were getting it so easily without even trying. And that gave birth to my inner insecurity. And I then started building my own likes and dislikes on top of that wounded foundation. In my 40s, when I started knowing my true self, peeling all the superficial layers one by one of me trying to be someone I was not, my new likes became very simple: to help others heal, to see the world become a better place, to love my dogs without trying to control their destiny, which was always designed by the Creator, to love people unconditionally and not judge them based on their false self, because they too are simply an addition of everything they absorbed as a child and a teen. That doesn't really tell us truly who they are. And my dislikes became just as simple: judging others, expecting from others, controlling others, taking from others. These are all my dislikes. Why do I meet certain people? I had to learn that we all carry an aura, an electromagnetic field that extends 6 to 10 feet around your body. This field is based on our emotional state, and it attracts certain people into our lives based on the frequency of the waves we are emitting. I know, for most of us, these rays are totally invisible. But it is visible to a very few gifted souls in this world. And of course, animals are part of it. Our dogs are exceptional in detecting an aura of a person, be it good or bad. And if you ever need proof beyond that, please check out Heart Math Institute. They actually measure this field and had posted their findings publicly on their website for anyone to see. This is why I attract certain people and why you do too. It is the universal law of magnetic attraction, just as real, just as reliable, just as famous as the law of gravity. We just were never taught that. But here is something that completely shocked me when I first learned it. Soulmates. You heard this a lot of times, isn't it? Soulmates are not who we think they are. We grew up believing a soulmate is someone who loves you perfectly and makes life beautiful and a fairy tale. But the ancient wisdom teaches something very different. Hear me out. A soulmate is actually a soul contract, an agreement you made before you were born. And the people who caused you the most pain in this lifetime, the ones who broke you open, who brought you to your knees, who forced you to transform completely, those are your true soulmates. The ones who broke you open, they are your true soulmates. The ones who were responsible for your transformation, they are your true soulmates. They are playing bad cops in this lifetime for you, for your transformation. They didn't come to comfort you. They came to wake you up. So many of the universal laws that govern our lives are never taught in school. And that is what breaks my heart. We have no strong basic foundation. I wish this was a curriculum in our school. This was something that we are taught as a child. So we could live our lives fully and consciously, and these things are to be taught as a child. If we cannot understand as a child, maybe we should be taught as a teen. So we could be the best version of ourselves by the time we reach teenage or 20s. Before we meet our best friends, before we meet our life partners, and everyone who is precious in our life. Not into our 40s or 50s. After half a lifetime spent in chaos, we unknowingly created ourselves. Why is life sometimes happy and sometimes sad? Because we are living unconsciously, operating from the limited beliefs and subconscious programming we gathered from childhood. Happiness comes naturally to us. It is our true inner state. Because think about it. Have you ever seen a newborn baby? They're just so happy. They're smiling all the time. They're enjoying the world. Very pristine. They love unconditionally. They do not judge and enjoy all the time. And of course, we can also think about a dog. If you want to live in the present moment, if you want to love unconditionally, there is no other being in the world who can teach you better than a dog. But sadness, most of the sadness in our lives, we actually learn it when growing up, watching others, and never knew that sadness is being created by ourselves. There are certainly sad moments that are meant for us. When we lose someone precious, when life brings us grief, that kind of sadness is important. It is part of our growth, part of our destiny unfolding. But the sadness we feel watching news, scrolling through media, checking out drama, getting caught up in celebrity news, sports, arguments in the media and at home over things that really don't matter. That sadness we do not have to feed. That is not why we are born. Every human soul is born for a purpose. And to find that purpose, we have to peel ourselves, layer by layer, until we find our true self underneath it all. Most of us are walking around wearing a fake persona, operating from a false self that was built by years of programming we never chose. But once you start peeling those layers, once you begin to understand yourself deeply, life becomes genuinely happy without seeking it from others. And sadness becomes only what it was always meant to be: brief, purposeful, and passing. Why do I undergo pain and struggle in my life? Pain and struggle are very much part of our destiny. And I learned that we designed our life on earth very carefully in another realm, together with the creator of the universe. We already knew our human life blueprint before we arrived on earth, but then the memory was wiped to ensure we experience it fully with free will, learning from our mistakes, and expanding our wisdom as we grow older with various experiences. So the pain was always part of the plan. And when I look at my own life, I'm grateful for every bit of it. Because without the pain, I would never be doing what I'm doing on this channel. Without it, I would have stayed complacent. Without it, I would never truly understand what joy is. And without it, I would never have invested in the enormous amount of learning that I did to live my purpose. I made a very hard and highly disciplined decision 2 years ago to stop watching all news, all the negative buzz, all the media, and not participate in any kind of drama at home, at office, and anywhere I go, and only give my focus to spiritual learning. Pain and struggle are not punishments. They are the very fuel of human transformation. For few of us, this transformation happens as young as teens or even 20s. For others, it may not happen until 40s, 50s, or even 60s. And for few, it takes few lifetimes to transform. There is no wrong timeline. There is only your timeline. What is the true meaning of happiness? Happiness is different things to different souls. For me, after I peeled my layers and became my true self, I came to know that my happiness lives in giving. When I give to others, when I help someone heal, when I see someone become happy in their life, when I see others thriving, that is when I feel genuinely, deeply happy. But your happiness may look completely different from mine, and that is perfectly beautiful. The key is this: you first have to sit with yourself and identify the false beliefs that were never really yours to begin with. Identify who you are. I will not lie that it is easy to do, but you must do it. After that point, it becomes so easy, so natural. Your true happiness reveals itself almost on its own. You start getting help from the upper world. You start getting unusual dreams to give you hints, not just in sleep, in every waking hour. Because now your mind is not chaotic, it is open, it is clear, it is broad. You will magnetically attract those people and experiences that push you towards finding your true happiness. It could be traveling and learning new cultures. It could be helping others as a philanthropist. It could be dancing on a stage or just for yourself in your living room. It could be teaching. It could be gardening. It could be music. It could be building something with your hands. It could be just caring for animals or elders in their golden years. Whatever it is, it will feel like breathing, effortless, yours. This is your true happiness. And it was always there, just waiting underneath the layers of fake persona. Why do I get the dreams that feel so real when clearly I'm in deep sleep? Dreams are where I learn something extraordinary about myself. When we sleep, our soul quietly slips out of the body and goes exploring. Maybe it visits her true home, because Earth, as beautiful and stunning as it is not our real home. Earth is a playground, a temporary place where souls come to live a human experience for learning. Our true home is somewhere else entirely, another realm, another plane of existence. And in that sleep state, our soul gets to go back, even briefly, to mingle with other souls, to enjoy another experience, to simply be free of the body for a while. And then, when it is time to wake up, it slips back in. This is why dreams feel so extraordinarily real, because they are not imagination, they are experience. Your soul was actually there, living it, feeling it in full. Next time you wake up from a dream that felt more real than your waking life, pay attention to it. Your soul was trying to tell you something. It never tells you the why or the how. It only tells you what to do, and it is for your greatest benefit. Call it your intuition or gut feeling. That is your soul waking you up to your true purpose. So finally, why Dogportant? I made a promise to my dogs when they took their last breath that one day I would give back to this world and share the secret of how healing yourself heals your dog. That promise became Dogportant. There are plenty of spiritual channels out there, and there are plenty of dog health channels out there, but there is no channel today that explains the real reason why a dog falls sick, either suddenly or over time. It is not the food or not in the supplements or not the genetics either. It is because our dogs are living inside our auric field, absorbing our trauma, mirroring our wounds, and getting sick without us ever knowing, because we never see it that way. I experienced this with my own dogs, and after seeing them heal without medication, I can assure you this is so real. But I also knew that if I simply said, heal yourself and your dog will revive, you might ignore it or scroll through or even think it's a woo woo. So instead, I chose another path. I decided to come to you with stories. Because humans learn best through stories, no matter the age. If I show you the depth of your wounds, why people hurt each other, why our auric fields become chaotic, and why our dogs living inside the field absorb and mirror every bit of our trauma, then it gets to you. Then you feel it. Then you believe it. And then you do it. Today, there is no channel that speaks about aura this way connected to dogs. No channel that explains how your fascia holds your stuck trauma and silently being passed to your dog. So I'm here with Dogportant to slowly, gently, through stories, nurturing your soul into becoming your best version. And when you heal, your dog will thrive for many more years to come. More wagging tails and more wiggly bumps. This is my true sense of purpose, to heal others. That is when I will know that Dogportant has fulfilled its promise. I'm Simi. This is Rose. I'll see you in the next video.